All right, and we're live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast, episode 50. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Inner Circle Network. We do appreciate everybody for stopping on by. Give us 1 second. We're going to be sharing out this link so you guys can check us out live as we kind of see what's going to happen here and give one of our guys just a second. But before we get started in here, we'll do some of our intros. Introducing the King of Shallow, the Lord of the Premium Experience, the Master of Tiki Torches, King David.
Ooh, what's going on, my people? Today? He didn't let me get my ooh in there. I understand you're trying to get used to him, and he knows I go last because I'm Barry Bonds of this. I stand right here. I stand out the park. He got to set it up. He got to let Alex Rodriguez go before me. He didn't let Alex Rodriguez set it up, get everybody else on base, so I can bring everybody home. But hey, check this out, people. See, the reason why I go last is because of the boxing and stuff like that. Wasn't any good boxing this week. Normally in MMA and boxing, they start to pick up in the next coming months, and you said the March and so on. Next week we have a good fight coming up. But I wanted to touch on the Amiibos. New Amiibos is coming. They look fantastic. I know Brat will love that. Brat, step your Amiibo game up. I'm watching you out here. Also, movies. I see a lot of people talking with Black Panther and, talking about pride and stuff like that. And all right, that's just cute, guys. But the bottom line is, and not to, be racist, but he's not the only black superhero or the first black superhero that has been successful. Don't forget Wesley Snipes, and let's not forget Spawn. Come on, guys. Now, I understand you saying there's a whole black cast, and, I feel that black director, woo. But let's not forget that we do have other genres where, that is prevalent. All right? So everybody go out, get your tickets. I'm going out and getting my tickets and stuff like that. I want to see pictures posted, tweet it out, send it back and forth. Let's play with it. Let's have some fun with it. Also, I saw this show on Netflix. Did any of y'all see the show on Netflix, the Cloverfield Paradox? Did you see that?
I have not seen it yet. I gotta watch the others first.
Okay, I can't get back the hour and 25 minutes of my life.
It was that bad.
It was actually worse than it was a slam dunk. Actually, they gave him a layup. See, the first Cloverfield was kind of a weird bag. It was weird because the camcorder thing and on a feet in New York City, and you're looking at it and it's like, wow, where's the monster? Oh my god. It was weird. The second one was kind of better because it was centered around. Yeah, it had a script. Actually,
and it was based on the paranoia people feel when they don't know what the hell's going on, and the lengths some people will go to protect themselves. Yeah,
I honestly say, out of all three movies, please see number 2. Mm-hmm. This third one tried to be Life. You remember that movie? Did you see the movie Life? Did you see that one? The one in space? The one from Sony that they was trying to set up with Spawn?
No. They're trying to set up with Venom. It's a setup
Venom. With Venom, yeah. Okay. They tried something like that and failed miserably. That is the most sleep-inducing thing that I can... Oh my god! I fought through it. I had to take actually some 5-hour energy just to get through an hour and 25 minutes of it. That's not something I would recommend. I'm sorry for going into.
Pretty good. I was surprised, man. That cast looked pretty awesome.
The whole cast is awesome. I want you to waste your time too. Please see it and get at me. Please feel free to get at me and be like, King David, you're a fool. It's stupid. It's really good. I loved it. You're not gonna say that. You got some people talking about that Monster Hunter like it's God, and I heard a lot of it last night. I was just sitting here holding back the chunks from coming out of my mouth. But shout out to Hip Hop Gamer. I gotta watch that video. I heard that you went in on the game. Thank you for keeping it real, my brother. And we're going to set that up to my man, Lord Sovereign. Let's go, Anchor. Hit him.
All right. Lord Sov, the sovereign of the single player, the keeper of the ancient receipts. Lord Sov, how are you doing tonight?
Doing fantastic. Well, I actually could be doing better. I'm a little under the weather. I since yesterday morning, that flu has been trying to kick down my door, and it's hovering right now. It's hovering, so I might be under the table by the time this is over. I'm trying to stay afloat, but otherwise doing pretty good. But yeah, so there wasn't much in the way of boxing last night, but there was UFC last night.
Oh, tell me, brother, tell me.
We had UFC 221 in Perth, Australia. Not the most. Honestly, you could have had a fight night for this. You know, you didn't need a pay-per-view for this. But, you know, there are these pay-per-view cards sometimes that, you know, you got to let the up-and-comers get their shine. You know, there was a lot of jiggly guts. You know, like but that said, there was a lot of good action. Some people getting stretched and flushed out. You know, it's always fun to see. So it was good action, not necessarily super top tier performers. But let me talk about a few of the big matches, right? So we had this kid Matthews versus this kid Jing Liang. Fantastic fight. Both of these guys have chins of granite. Matthews caught Jing Liang in a guillotine choke that was supposed to would put anyone out. And Jing Liang proceeded to perform the most egregious foul I have ever seen in MMA. He proceeded to stick his fingers into Matthews' eyes as the ref is watching this. And the ref simply says, take your fingers out of his eyes and don't do that again, or I'm taking away a point. The man saved himself from tapping out. There was no question he was tapping out. And what he did was he did the poke to the eyes, and the ref just gave him a slap on the wrist. He should have been disqualified right then and there. That said, the fight
shout out to the new Ric Flair.
That is a total Ric Flair move. That I could not believe it when I saw it. But hey, but both guys have great chins, great boxing. So, I mean, I guess, you know, they wanted people to see the full-on fight because I think that was the first round. We caught him in the guillotine. All right. So after that, yeah, this is the fight of the guts. This guy named Tuivasa, who's 9-0, against some other guy that just looked like he did not belong there, and Tuivasa just smoked him. This guy looks like a young Mark Hunt. So I guess it was appropriate that he fought on this card. He stretched this guy out. I mean, he didn't stretch him out. They had to stop the fight because it was just too much. He was just getting battered. All right. So then now we move on to the actual Mark Hunt fight. Mark Hunt makes his way back to the ring after I thought he had basically retired. So he makes his way back to the octagon against Blades. Now, this kid Blades stood toe-to-toe with the guy who just fought Stipe. I forget his name. Why am I forgetting his name now? Anyway,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So for whatever reason, I'm forgetting it.
You're talking about Ngannou, right?
Yeah, Francis Ngannou. So and he took every shot Ngannou hit him with, and this guy has hard hands as well. They stopped the fight. He lost that fight to Ngannou. They stopped it because he didn't want to quit, but his eyes were like swollen. And so this guy can give a punch and take a punch. So basically, Mark Hunt caught him with a few heavy. You know, Mark Hunt is out to knock you out with every punch that he throws. And he caught this kid with a lot of fire, and the kid was wobbled, and he just held his ground, took it, and then decided, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, and just proceeded to take Mark Hunt down every time that he had the opportunity. At that point, Mark Hunt, once you get him on the ground, if you can keep him there, if you're big enough to keep him on the ground, you can beat him pretty handily. So he won a unanimous decision over Mark Hunt in that regard. But the kid seems like he's a big-time contender in the heavyweight division moving forward. And now we move on to the main event, Joel Romero versus Luke Rockhold, which was supposed to be for the interim.
Oh, damn, I wanted to see that.
Oh, bro.
Damn, I wanted to see that. I knew I wanted to see that. Go ahead, sorry.
So it's for the interim title because Robert Whittaker is hurt. So I guess he's going to be out long enough that they feel they need an interim champion to fill out the time that he's going to be out. Thing is, Romero does not make weight. Like, Romero is a career wrestler. in my opinion, making weight is not an option. Like it's I don't care. They said that he had a short training camp. He took the fight on fairly short notice. You know what? You got to make weight, man. Especially when you've been waiting so long for a title shot. Yeah. You're a professional. Make weight. He was 3 pounds overweight. He was 3. This is not weight that you can burn off in 15 minutes in a sauna. This is not weight that you can drop by taking a dump. Like you can't. It's 3 pounds overweight. It's a lot. Yeah. So he knew full well he was not going to make weight. He goes in there. It was a good tactical fight until he finally caught Rockhold with a left and smoothed him out, and then he hit him with another left while he was on the ground, and that was the fight. So he knocks Rockhold out, and then he gets in his face and talks smack. But I mean, dude, you talk smack, but you didn't make weight. Like
So technically, what did they give him? Did they give him a no contest, or did Dana go with it? And
no, they agreed. This happened. The weigh-in was yesterday, so they agreed that they were still going to fight. I'm sure Rockhold was compensated in some way, shape, or form. Because
Rockhold wanted the check. Yeah.
Right. So I guess he got some monetary compensation. In addition to, if he had won the fight, he would have won the interim belt. Just Romero wouldn't have been able to win, no matter what. So, so Romero, considering the performance, he probably still gets the shot at Whitaker when Whitaker comes back. Right. So he's just without a belt. So the belt is still up in the air at this point.
All right. But again, that was my main concern. Weight. Yeah,
you got to make weight, man.
These unprofessional dudes, that's disgusting.
Yeah, so next week we have more UFC, and we definitely have some more boxing next week, I believe. We got Danny Garcia. Oh, yes. So we got some good stuff for next week.
Yes, we do. We do. Shout out on the merch stuff. The site is going to go live next week. Don't worry, I'm hot on that. I actually was going through, because I had a couple of boxes when I had the initial runs of the shirts, and I actually have 4 more large shirts only. All right, hit me in a DM on Twitter. You follow us, you should know. Hit me on the DM into Twitter and give me that information so I can give you the information on the price of the shirts and get that out to you quickly as possible. Shout out to the other 4 people that got the shirts. 2 people, want to remain a little bit nameless, type of thing. And I understand that because they with other podcasts and they don't want that to be running out there like that. They don't want to be like that. Yeah, I gotta respect, their privacy. But then, it's 2 great listeners and people that I play with actually picked up their shirts and they posted it on Twitter and they love what they got, and I appreciate it. Also understand that you will have that 10% off coupon on all future purchases going forward. We're gonna have new colorways. We're gonna have themed events, editions like PAX and E3. A lot of stuff is coming forth, so don't worry, you guys. We'll have all that information ending next week for sure. Soon. All right, let's do it.
Anchor, did we put you to sleep with our UFC talk?
The boss has left.
Sorry, I muted myself by someone at the door. Someone at the door. Sorry. See, I'm not used to podcasting this early. For me, it's always like 8, 10 o'clock, so I don't have anybody.
And you're moving at a slow pace too, because at night y'all on some laid back cognac stuff. Like right here we on some espresso, early day espresso. Let's get it. Let's pop. Yeah. Let's go.
All right. So we're going to mix things up a little bit differently. Wanted to talk about last week's poll results for the Iron Lords episode 49. We had a very interesting result here. So the question for last week was, with the recent speculation of Microsoft looking to acquire PUBG, EA, and Valve, which rumored acquisition would be the best for Microsoft's vision? And with actually in last place, with only 18% of the vote, EA, integrate to Game Pass, and moving that all in there. So, and actually in a close second, and third, in third place actually, Valve merged with the PC space, and actually right after that is all of them hashtag Skynet.
Yeah,
and number 1 with 33% of the vote, PUBG secure and exclusive. So, so question for the group here. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Start with you, King.
Well, I'm with the Skynet. To be honest with you, I honestly think this E3, you're going to hear serious rumblings. Well, you're not going to hear serious rumblings. You're going to get serious announcements because we heard the rumblings, right? It's silent. They were a leaky faucet a second ago, and then all of a sudden it's quiet. So I believe that they, just wanted to wet your palate to let you know, listen, games and stuff is coming. And by E3, where the big announcement should be said on stage, where you want to floor people and let people know that we are in it to win it, I believe then that is going to be said. Mm-hmm. And I believe it's all three. PUBG is easy.
Pushing it with all three there. I don't think Microsoft's going to throw off that much money. All right, what's your thoughts on this, Saab?
Like I said last week, I think PUBG is the easy one, right? But I mean, to me, yeah, you picked them up. You picked them up because you've already seen the success they've had on the console. There's no reason not to have that game exclusive to you, especially if you have some sort of roadmap for what you want to do with that game in the future. What do what maps do you want to add? How do you want to expand on the game? If you want to use them for other types of games as well. So yeah, I mean, definitely securing a studio that can give you more exclusives, absolutely fantastic. To me, though, the big one is Valve. I think Valve is the services that Valve provides, the IP that they already have that's kind of been dormant for a long time. For Microsoft to pick up Valve and in turn Steam, that would make them a juggernaut. Then at that point, if you do have PUBG as well, you do with PUBG what you did with Minecraft. Like when they picked up Mojang, people were like, well, what's going to happen with Minecraft and all these other platforms? And we're like, nah, they're going to pull it. They're going to pull it. And they were like, no, there's too much money to be made there. No. So I would not be surprised if they did something like that. And you take PUBG, you own PUBG, but you're like, hey, yeah, we're putting on PUBG on PlayStation. You're going to pay us to put PUBG on PlayStation. We're going to give you a version on the Switch. You're going to pay us to put it on the Switch. It makes the most sense for what I think they're trying to do way down the line, which is, an Xbox service, whatever that may be. So
I don't see PUBG, if they purchase PUBG going to them. Now, I see if they work it out with Valve, which I honestly believe they will. I believe that is the big banger that's going to open up that Microsoft store, right? And really just hit it where it hurts, because a lot of PC gamers will fall over all over the floor with that. That will really kill people. EA, I don't know. I could see them integrating the EA access to the Game Pass. I don't know what the numbers is. The Game Pass more successful than Access. More people's talking about it. I don't know. I see that because they need those exclusives, and then you got the games, but then you can also keep it multi and get the DLC and everything here first. I don't know. I actually see all of it. Maybe I'm a super fan. I'm a fool. I don't know.
The EA stuff, man. I like.
I was going to say, at least my perspective on the whole thing. I don't think they're going to buy Valve, at least in terms of Steam. I think what would sooner happen is they would buy Valve Studios and say, oh, you got all these IPs you're not using. Like, why don't we just buy the game development studio since you're clearly not making anything? Take it out that way. Like, we'll take out those games and we'll put them on Xbox. We'll keep them on PC too. But, like, okay, maybe they spin off Steam to its own company, and Gabe Newell just keeps doing his thing, keeps getting his money, and let him have his own deal. But that's really more for the exclusive front. But on the other side, I think of it as PUBG is also the easiest one, but that's also not really worthy of an E3 announcement. It's not that kind of a thing, unless it was kind of like, okay, like we're gonna go on E3 and announce here's a new map or here's the official release date. Here's basically some DLC, a little bit here, a little bit there, and then right afterwards say, by the way, it's never coming to any other platform other than PC and Xbox. But it has to happen before it hits PlayStation, because once it hits PlayStation, you're in the same situation as Minecraft. Where with Minecraft, the only reason they kept that game on PlayStation was because it was already out on PlayStation, and that would look worse for you to take it away.
True.
Yeah.
And I just think, I mean, the money matters, though, man. Like you the amount of money you would be cutting yourself off from. And again, like I said, it depends on what their vision is for the future of Xbox as a brand. If they see themselves being everywhere, I don't see, it's got to start at some point, right? So I don't see why that would matter moving forward if that's what their vision is. Again, everything they've shown with the Game Pass stuff and whatnot, that's what it leads me to believe. Could very well be something completely different, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting in the next couple of years to see what they do, how they expand Game Pass more, as we see kind of a clearer look at what their actual vision is. Because we get little snippets, they give us little snippets every now and again, but there still isn't a clear, concise, this is our goal. And they're not going to tell us that until, they're ready to show it all off.
Yeah, it's likely all behind closed doors too. And like they're not going to tell us anything till the day of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we'll start getting some of the topics for the evening. We'll pose the poll question at the end for next week. So let's start off with Saab. What do you bring to the table this week?
Oh, so to the table, this week I'm having my fireside chat about one of the greatest games of all time, Shadow of the Colossus. I every now and again I like to dive deep into these games that I've played in the past and just talk or played recently and just talk about what my feelings are on the game and whatnot. Shadow of the Colossus is special because it's one of the last games on PS2 that mattered to me before making the move onto the 360. Shadow of the Colossus came out maybe weeks before the 360 launched, and King knows all of us were just looking forward at that point. So we weren't really at that point. We were kind of really ingrained in the Xbox ecosystem as well. So we weren't really paying too much attention to PS2 games. But the talk around this game was such that I had to pay attention. I said, you know what, this is Ueda's second game. I loved Ico. Ico was one of those games that we all played early on in the PS2's life cycle. So everything I heard around this game led me to say, you know what, I need to pick this up regardless of how invested I am in PS2 at this point. And what I found was a game that from a technical perspective on the PS2 hardware should have been impossible. And they worked miracles with that PS2 hardware. And then from an emotional standpoint, it was one of the few games that's ever made me cry in my life. And the only games that I recall that made me cry are Shadow of the Colossus, the ending of Red Dead, believe it or not, and Journey. Journey made me shed a tear. So the story around it, to me, I mean, before the story, the thing that makes this game so special is the scale that it brings to gaming. Like, I had never seen anything in gaming to this point that presented scale this way. It really made you feel tiny in comparison to these beasts that you were hunting. And so the story around that is what made it kind of a very powerful and emotional thing, where it's like, just a quick overview of the story without spoiling anything. Shadow of the Colossus is basically about this guy named Wander. His name is Wander, and his horse Agro. And he goes to this temple. To try to save the life of a woman that he cares for deeply. That's kind of everything that's all they give you in terms of exposition. So he takes her to this temple, but in order for her to get healed, he has to slay these colossi. They don't give him any rhyme or reason. They just say, this is what you need to do to get what you need. So he blindly goes out on this quest to save this person he cares for. So the story handles the themes of sacrifice and what you would do for someone that you love and the consequences of doing that stuff blindly without seeing what other havoc you're causing around you. So it's a fantastic story. It's one of those games, and there are plenty of games that I feel this way about, that should always be brought forward in generations so that people that didn't experience it can come back to it or can experience it for the first time in a different light. And with this remake of Shadow of the Colossus, like Blue Point Games hit it out of the park. Like, they took the essence of that game and they didn't change that at all, but they just made the most beautiful remake I've ever seen of any game that we've seen remasters for. We've seen, like, you know, high-res texture packs added to games. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. And I think, you know, they retain the spirit of the game in such a way that I think everybody should experience this game. From the technical standpoint, there's some things that are still wonky that they kind of slavishly stuck to how the game played. They made some improvements in terms of the jump button and the grab button, which were in awkward places on the PlayStation 2. So they made it, you know, they did things properly for what we know as what should be the jump button in this day and age, which is the X button and the A button on Xbox. So things like that to make the controls feel better. But they, like when I said they slavishly sort of stuck to how the game was, like the climbing mechanics, when you're climbing anything except Colossi, is still wonky. Like, you're just like jumping from place to place. It's not exactly, it's still kind of wonky, and I wish they would have smoothed that stuff out. But that said, I mean, to me, the game's an all-time classic, and this is the best way to play it. Absolutely best way to play it.
Yeah.
So
I just started playing it. I just started playing it for the first time yesterday.
So you've never played
it?
I had never played it.
I really want to hear your opinion of it because I listened to it already, but go ahead.
Oh,
wow. I played it I will say the graphics are amazing. They're absolutely, and I had seen the original, and I had seen the PS3 remaster.
Right.
And it looks amazing. It really is. The only thing about it is you do feel the age in its design, but like for a remaster, that's a real question. Because we had this discussion last night about remasters versus remake, and everyone's preaching to me about this being a remake, and I'm like, kinda. I guess it's kind of
not a remake,
but it's yes, the graphics are a lot better, but they did keep a lot of the like original intention. Like if it was a remake, okay, here's an example. When BioShock the collection came out and they redid BioShock 1, that is a remaster. No matter, like they did it from the ground up to make everything look so much better. Like a higher res count for everything, but they did all that stuff to make everything look better. That is true. But at the same time, what they did was they didn't change anything else about the game. The game was the same all the way through. The control scheme, how everything played. You still wasted your time with all the cameras and all that kind of stuff. And it's a remaster because they kept the original intention of the game. A remake is like we're redoing the whole thing. It's kind of like when you're watching a movie. Like there's a remake that will like redo it shot for shot, and then there's a remake that will do it as. Okay, we're taking the same premise but changing the story.
Yep.
And that's kind of the difference I look at it as.
The thing is, for me, yeah, go ahead, Attic.
I just don't understand why we keep talking about remakes versus remasters. Like, does this community ever move on?
No, we don't. We stay right here where we're comfortable.
That's right. Moving them late.
A remake versus remaster. My thing is this: this was built from the ground up. They kept the entire, like I said, the integrity of what the game was. They kept it, and they slavishly stuck to that. Because see, for me, certain games, like if you change too much of it, like they literally they didn't change camera angles and stuff like that, because then it messes with the intention of the game on an emotional level, right? So when you do that, then you have to rework everything in that regard. So, and again, it depends on how much leeway they were given. Like they were like, all right, build it from the ground up to be aesthetically beautiful, but the game proper has to feel the same. And that's a tough thing to say. So for me, when the assets are completely new, you're remaking that. I understand what you mean, like from a gameplay premise that it's nothing new. They had the template already. But I mean, when you look at BioShock and stuff like that, that's a remaster. You're taking old assets that were probably high resolution assets to begin with. You just didn't have the horsepower to push those assets, and you're bringing them up and putting them on machines that can handle them better.
No, I think a remake.
No, BioShock, they remade it, but that's
I
different.
think a remake, if I were to classify them, a remake is something that is, what's what I'm looking for, has the exact same content in the game, and a remaster has the exact same content in the game.
Mhm.
It's just been redone to standards. And a remake is something like
they build it entirely from the ground up, brand new.
Any reboots, I consider a remake a reboot.
Yeah, like a reboot. Yeah, like you reboot the franchise in a totally different direction. Let's say it's Spider-Man. They remade Spider-Man over from the last Amazing Spider-Man, and you got the Homecoming, right? Yeah. Now, let's say if they did a remake, they would have did the same exact scene for scene, shot for shot, but just gave it HDR and up the graphics and the resolution. Yeah. I understand. I wanted Anchor to talk about the horse.
Yeah, the horse god awful.
I just don't the horse riding. The horse riding mechanics are awful. The horse riding mechanics are another thing that is like really like with all the great horse riding mechanics we have in Red Dead and like.
It didn't even have to be that complicated either. That's the thing. Like, just hold down X instead of triangle.
It's bad, and there's no reason for it. Like, I don't think by changing that you affect the integrity of the game at all. I think little things like that it's like, a lot of times I prefer not to ride him. Like, I'll ride the horse to the general area I have to go to, and then I'll just walk because he's gonna follow you anyway. It's just stuff like that doesn't make sense with the care that they gave to the rest of the game. What's great about it though is, again, it brings it to a new generation of people who haven't played the game, and just on aesthetics alone, they're gonna see it and be like, wait a minute, what is this? I gotta play this, and if they can do that with games like, give Metal Gear Solid to Blue Point, let them remake that, anything that's considered an all-time classic. I think it's kind of on the gaming community to bring that stuff forward so that you present it to newer generations so they don't forget like where this stuff came from.
This is the reason why we are afraid of the new Sony head. This is the reason, right?
Right, because he's a businessman.
Right, and we don't feel that he's going to put in the labor of love into dispatch. Do you honestly think that this game is going to make as much money as Shadow of the Colossus, the first one?
I don't know.
I think it will. I think it will. It's been a dry January for exclusives, or February. So I mean, hey, it's nothing else right now, like other than Monster Hunter. But even then, like you had all the hype for like the last 12 years, so we've had time.
Yeah.
I feel you. I'm picking the game up, because somebody was bloviating it to the point that it almost made my head pop. They were telling the world that the HDR was the greatest HDR they ever seen. I said that's impossible with only 2 light sources and 3 shades of colors. But I feel you. Let
me break that down. So you see where I'm
coming
from. We always come from different point of views when it comes to the tech stuff. So I'll break that down, right? I made the statement. I think it is the best implementation of HDR, right? So this is what we have to think about when we talk about HDR, right? HDR, the 2 main components of HDR are wide color gamut, right? 10-bit color, 12-bit color, right? Expansion of the color gamut, right? And what I consider to be more important at this point in time. You just said what you consider, right? Right. But I'm going to tell you why.
Because it's subjective right now. Just when you put you into it, it just became subjective, right? And I'm going to show you how you were wrong. But we're going to go into what you think.
Okay, but I don't. My opinions are not coming from just nowhere. Like, I have facts to back it up, which is why I'm going to back it up.
No, Sav is right about that too, because the HDR does make a huge difference.
Oh yes, I said that.
I had not turned on the HDR port for my TV at that time on my PlayStation, so I had never turned it on at that point. And so I started playing it. I was and I looked at after the very beginning. It says turn on HDR, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna turn on the HDR. It's gonna be dope. And it said your TV is not HDR compatible. I was like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
And so I So I had played a little bit of the game, so I was like, okay, yeah, this looks really good. So I went and I turned it off and booted it back up after turning on the HDR on the port on my TV, and it was night and day.
Night and day,
like,
night and day, right?
Crap.
Yeah, yes, night and day. Now, Anchor, do you know what the actual fight is? Do you know what the fight is yet? Because see, I gotta set it up for the crowd to understand exactly so you can know where Sovereign is coming from, so y'all don't get swayed by what he's about to do. Now, what he's about to do is tell you that how HDR. No. Yeah, your facts is true. This is true. These are your facts, right? And what he's going to tell you is that the HDR is the best implementation of HDR, and from his standpoint, like he said, from his standpoint, in a game. Right? So what he's saying is that this Shadow of Colossus is the best HDR. And my argument to that, I said, no, sir. You had Gears of War 4 that was made from the ground up with HDR built for that. Right? And I said, I believe, this is my exact words, that's great for PlayStation. That's great for them. That is the best HDR for them. But you said in a game, and I believe that my statement was that Gears of War 4 HDR is king.
Right, and I'm going to explain to you why I think that's not true. I still stand by what I said. Right, so let me finish explaining, right? Like I said, at this point in time, I feel that peak brightness and its relation to absolute black is more important to HDR than wide color gamut. Why do I say that, right? At this point, wide color gamut, 10-bit color, these games that we're playing now are still mastered in 8-bit. The games that we're playing are mastered in 8-bit. The movies that we're watching, even 4K movies, are mastered in 8-bit. So what our 10-bit HDR is doing is just creating a smoother gradation from color to color. It's not increasing the color gamut so much as it's just smoothing it out. And it's an obvious change. You see it because when you put something in 8-bit, let's say Assassin's Creed Origins, if you look at that in 8-bit, you'll see very defined colors and you'll see very like rough places where the color shifts from one to another. Now you switch to 10-bit and that gradation is much smoother, giving it a much more realistic look, right? But like I was saying about the color, we're not at the place with the color that it should be. Like you still have, if you look at Dolby Vision is superior to HDR10. But the problem is that because of the licensing stuff, not everyone uses it. So my thing is, for color to be where it needs to be in HDR, we need to look at the HDR10 plus standard that's coming, and that'll put us closer to where we need to be in terms of color.
Bro, you're Don King-ing me right now. You're giving me a lot of words and you're not giving me no facts. Come on, bro.
Right.
So Don King-ing me right now. Let's go. Let's get it.
I'm not. I'm gonna give you the real, so you can't say
that's what we're looking for. I wanted you to set it up, but you was doing the long-winded Don King stuff.
No. Okay, so let's go. Let's get into contrast and why black and white, and that to me is more important. When you look at a game like Shadow of the Colossus, it has a very muted color palette. It has like 4 colors, right? But when you look at the HDR implementation in the darkest scenes and the lightest scenes, especially when you're literally fighting a Colossus, when you're literally in the shadow of a Colossus, I've never seen a game do that because that has to account for a few things. The light sourcing in that area where you're fighting the Colossus, right? And how that light plays off of you, wherever you may be in the vicinity of that Colossus.
You used the word light sourcing, right?
Right.
All right. So, my question to you: how many light sources do you think was used at that one particular moment that you're talking about at this point in time right here?
When you're fighting a Colossi, multiple light sources.
Yes.
Multiple.
How many? Give me a number. How many do you think?
At least 2.
Because I can tell you exactly how many. All right. So 2, 3, right?
Jesus
so I'm gonna give you max 3. I'm gonna let you rock with max 3, right?
Let's do this. All right.
Okay.
So you have to run around this area in real time, and that light has to account for how it hits you in real time, how it hits you, how it hits the Colossus, how the shadow that the Colossus casts it on you. This is all real time, right? So when you look at a game like Gears,
you're saying that the Gears is not in real time,
right? No, everything is rendered in real time. But Gears is a corridor shooter. You're moving from one place to another place. Those light
all right,
sources
so I'm going to
they're going to hit you.
Right, all right. Listen, brother, what I would like for you to do is argue your game.
Right.
Right? And then I will argue my game. I'm going to give you the stats for my game. You give me the stats for yours. You said 3 light sources, beautiful shadows, real time. Right? HDR. We don't want to borrow the crowd. We want the crowd to get in it. Right? Get it. Right? Okay.
But let me tell you why Gears in that regard is inferior. Gears is a corridor shooter, regardless of everything being rendered.
The Gears HDR is inferior. I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about the HDR.
You know I'm not talking about the game. Gears in that regard is inferior from a technical standpoint because the light sourcing is only coming from one direction. And
oh my God, we're not really arguing about how many directions light's coming. Let's go. Let's move on. Well, I gotta go back to work at 5. Okay, I gotta eat.
Like
Listen, I'm so sorry that this HDR comment is not something that you care about, but this HDR whole thing is something that everybody in this chat has been talking about, tweeting about, and reporting about back and forth through everyone. Now, I have more than 5 to 6 people on my side when I say this whole thing. Gears has more than 6. And I'm going to limit it to 6. So it has double the amount of light sources that you're talking about, right? Okay, let's go to the part where you said corridor shooter. So you're trying to say that everything is fixed at this one point in time. But the best implementation of HDR, and when I'm telling you how light realistically bounces with the eye, how light plays with the eye, because if you want to bring up the actual definition of it, is how we realistically see light, right?
No, how we see realistic. How we see realistic.
How we realistically see light. Right? How we realistically see the world in light. Right?
How we perceive light. How we perceive light.
Yes. Yeah, how we perceive it. How we realistically. How we look at something and we say, "Oh my God, that shit looks really realistic." When it comes to how they're portraying a light source. Right?
Go ahead.
You would say so?
Go ahead.
Okay. So now. The reason why Gears is superior and the Gears is king is because they are using
hold on 1 second, King. We got to go on record. So you are seeing that Gears is king, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I needed to know. Continue.
Okay.
Just have to know that so on record, it said that Gears shits on that game. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Actually, in HDR, in the regard of HDR, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. And
we just needed
the whole legion of the chat.
For court, we needed that quotation. Or I can continue.
Okay, thank you. You can write that down. All right. So, the HDR that is being used inside Shadow of the Colossus is the 2 colors that they're using. The 2 colors, the tint of green and the black. Well, we're not going to give them black. We're going to give them the yellow. All right? The tint of green, because it's like a puke green that they use and a vomit yellow, right? Death is shooting at me. All right. So now you say that how many colors do you feel that Gears is using all the colors in the color gamut that you talked about?
Of course not.
What? You don't think they're using more colors than the Shadow of the Colossus?
You said using all the colors, or you said using more colors?
More colors. I mean, come on. The smoke that they throw out there that has more colors, and the volumetric fog, and the light source and bouncing off the volumetric fog.
But I just finished telling you that my argument was that the color is not as important at this point. Like I know how many colors they use.
Yeah. These games use all the colors of the wind. We got to move on. That's not the point. Anyway, we got things to talk about. Hurry up,
Lord King and I. Let's leave it with this. We'll agree to disagree on this stuff until we both go to the grave, because we've always been. This is for years. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you that Lord King has always been about, like, he'll get a TV in his house, right? Whatever that TV provides as like a new thing, he's gonna use it no matter what. And I am that stickler for, like, classic picture quality, that stuff disgusts
me. He's lying to you right now. I want you to understand that this man is lying to you. Now, the reason why he's lying to you is because, and this is going to end the argument, The Pioneer Elite.
Yeah.
Sir. Where did it come from?
Came from you.
Right.
But you got rid of it to get 3D TV. You got rid of it to get a 3D TV.
I do that all the time. I just get up the new, latest, greatest, whatever that is. But the Pioneer Elite, we're going to say that is probably the best television that has been created, to be honest with you.
Best plasma hands down. Yeah, best plasma hands down.
Beautiful. Right? Now, don't tell me that I get a TV and I put all those specs on, because I don't, because I didn't put it on downstairs, because you have to actually take it off when you're watching certain things. What I'm explaining to you is my Q9, which is the top of the line television when it comes to HDR, besides that the old LED bang them out for the $25,000 one that I can't afford. That television will show you. And I said, we can do it live. We can have everybody see. We can have cameras set up. We can do anything that you would like to do, so you can sit there and see from this perspective which looks better.
Well, I have to be allowed to mess with your settings and look at your settings at least.
I want you to come over and I want you to touch it. I want you to come in. I want you to touch.
I don't trust your settings.
I want you to come in. I want you to touch the TV. I want you to put it to whatever you want to put it to, so that way you can actually say, yeah, he's right.
We'll do that. And I can say, yeah, you're wrong. But that's all right.
All right. So
let's stop boring people with our tech talk.
All right. Real quick for me. The RPG Royal, the Deacon of Dreams, the Sherpa of Swagger, Lord Addict. Do you have any thoughts about Shadow of the Colossus?
Oh, what were you saying? Nah, I got no issues with Shadow of the Colossus. I think people, they take this remake and remaster thing a little bit too seriously. Like, I keep seeing people arguing over that, over, the remake remaster thing, and I'm like, I mean, it looks like a cool game. Last time I checked, I do understand why they review these things. What clearly would have went good, that game came out like 10 years ago, Shadow of Colossus. I mean, let's be honest here. Reviewing standards have changed in 10 years. So I do think every game that comes out needs to be re-reviewed, because first off, it's by different people now, unless whatever these outlets, if they let the same person review it 10 years ago, they probably need to be let go. It's whatever, man. When it comes to it, it's like, am I gonna get it? See how it goes is I have Monster Hunter.
Oh, no.
Then a side of Monster Hunter, and then maybe I can get some Shadow Colossus after more Monster Hunter. So that's what my schedule is right now.
You can finish.
So that means no.
6 hours. Yeah,
so that means no. You're not gonna buy it, because eventually means, oh, look, another game came out that I actually gonna purchase.
Is it sad that I'm actually starting to go against my initial reaction? Was like, I don't know if I want to get Far Cry. Now I'm like, that looking pretty hot now.
You see? So you'll be on the Far Cry, and Shadow is going to go right back in the shadows. All right.
Oh, there will be a Kingdom Hearts session. You guys wait for that one.
Actually, that's actually the next little thing here. So, Room, your topic for the afternoon here. What's your contribution this week?
Hit them likes.
Oh, see, apparently Kingdom Hearts had some updates as announced at their last event, and they've pretty much on the low key guaranteed us a release date at E3. Now, part of me feels like they did low key say it was coming out this year too. Like, it's been kind of nothing's been confirmed, but part of me feels like that's not the case. I feel like what's going to happen is we're going to get to E3. And they're going to announce it's coming out next year. But I think at this point, even if it comes out next year, I'm okay as long as I get a release date. Like, I don't want to.
You'll be happy with a release date in
2019. If it comes out this year, I'm hyped. But I don't want to get to E3. They show us another trailer and don't give us a release date. Like, I'm not okay with that. Like, I want a locked date.
They keep saying coming 2018, unless that means like the release date is coming in 2018.
Well, I mean, everything says that. How many games say they're coming out in a certain time frame and it gets pushed back? Especially games that come out in the holidays of that year. There's a good chance at least one or two of them are getting pushed back to the beginning of the next year.
Especially this year with Red Dead coming out at the end of the year. If it was coming out anywhere near
everyone's like, nope.
As long as that game don't come out like a week before,
yeah.
If it came out a week before, I think it would be fine. But they need to at least have 2 weeks after Red Dead. Because I don't think anything.
I don't know.
I'm not even buying Red Dead like that. I'm not even buying Red Dead like that. But like 2 weeks out.
The thing about it is you don't know what other
2 weeks after that game.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I looked at Kingdom Hearts, and I mean, this looks like it's like the most they've shown us in what, years?
No, they showed us a lot last year.
I don't remember anything other than
obviously
Toy Story.
You don't keep up with it.
Well, other than the Toy Story thing, but they showed off a lot in this one. They showed off like a Little Mermaid summon. They showed off a Monsters Inc. world. They showed, yeah. They showed off a Tangled world. Like it. Well, I disagree about that. I think it looked like trash.
I think it looks good. What are you talking about?
No, dude, so, like when they showed it before,
he had the HDR turned off.
I mean, let's go here. Let's stop acting like this game's going to look exactly like it does on the how they're presenting it, because it's not going to.
Well, I expected it to look like the E3 2013 trailer, 5 years ago.
I mean, you mean before they started development? So you expected it to look like before development?
I expected it to look decent.
So is that what you're telling me? You expect the game to look like the game that they started, the trailer they showed you before the game even started developing?
I expected it to look like a 2018 game.
Anchorman is
not a 2010 game.
Confirmed.
But the problem with that, Addict, is that they showed it to you as gameplay. Like, this is a long time ago, and they showed it to you as gameplay. So, yeah, it was a vertical slice. And so
they took 5 years to get that.
Right. They refined that vertical slice to perfection. So that's what you expected because it was gameplay. If you give me trailer,
everyone expects that. Everyone expects what the Division to come out, what it looked like. Witcher kind of looked like what it did.
No, you want to know how I know this? They got downgraded what their original vision was. Look at the fur on Sully. The fur on Sully in the Kingdom Hearts trailer looks worse than the 2001 film. 17 years of technical innovation. You can't get that.
It looks all right though.
I thought it looked fine. Like I didn't have.
It's all right for trash.
I mean, it's whatever. It looks 10 times better as Fallout. That's confirmed.
Here we go.
You attack this baby, he's gonna attack your baby. But listen, I'm looking at the Toy Story right now, and the Toy Story looks like the Toy Story. I mean, minus a little bit of the light sourcing and the shading. But I mean, it looks really great. I can't front. I don't see where the game looks bad at. It looks great. And the fur on Sully. I'm looking at the fur on Sully. Everybody look at the fur on Sully. You see the fur on Sully, and it looks really good. I mean, for a game, what did you want it to look like? Look at the fur on that guy. The fur on that guy looks great.
Go look at Monsters. Go look at Monsters Inc. the movie from 2001.
Oh, come on! Now you're trying to say $1 billion franchise? Come on, man.
So
that's unrealistic.
Franchise.
Let me get. Why are you comparing two entirely different forms of entertainment? First off, second off,
they're based off the movie.
It's
based off the movie.
Oh my gosh! How are you going to? First off, you can't even sit there. Okay, yeah, that is a good point. You can't compare them because they're completely like it's a section of the game. How much bigger do you think that movie is in the game?
They showed a lot of this game.
Is the movie bigger in game in terms of file size, Anchorman?
Whoa! No. They showed a lot of
file
this
size
game.
Is a lot bigger. Yeah, I told you they showed a lot. They showed quite a bit.
Yeah,
they showed a lot of this game. This game looks amazing.
It'd be different if you said, "Oh, I don't like what I see." That would be different. But you're sitting here trying to say it looks horrible when you support Fallout 4, what looks like Fallout 3 with a filter on. That's legitimately what that game looks like. It looks like no.
Yo,
I'm not even joking. Go look at the.
I'm sorry, Anchor. Seriously, though. Come on, Anchor. Come on. That's it. You was just really trolling right there because, I mean, it looks way better than I thought.
And we're not even looking at how it's going to look on the X. Like this is.
Oh yeah, because this is like PlayStation base or something.
Right. So.
Oh my God. Look at the summons.
I'm actually going to get this game. I haven't played any Kingdom Hearts games, and I'm actually going to get this game. Well, I know Kaibatsu's going to get the game regardless, so I'm going to play it. But I haven't played any Kingdom Hearts games, but I'm kind of psyched
on my channel, Death Stinger. You would have got a timeout for that statement.
Oh wow! This really looks. What? This looks better than I thought. It's way better than that crap that they showed before. Now, if you was going off of that crap that they showed before, it was reason to be concerned. But this actually looks really good. It's a really good looking game. Wow. I'm down with that.
Next time anyone wants to say Fallout 4 looks good, go look at the IGN comparison from Fallout 4 and Fallout 3, and then come back to me. And keep in mind there's a game between Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 called Fallout New Vegas. There were certain sections of Fallout 3 that looked better than Fallout 4.
Oh, we're not going to debate which looks better between those games.
Wait. What segment of Fallout 3 looked better than
Fallout 3? They're going to bait. He baited him all the way into this now. He baited him. Listen, we're not going to have y'all fight with y'all over your babies. That's his baby. That's Addict's baby. Don't front.
That's a 20-minute tangent about HDR.
It's got a lot of assets. We're not talking about that. You guys are damage controlling the way it looks, saying it's bigger. It is bigger, facts. But Anchorman wasn't saying it based on how the size of the game. He was saying that Fallout 4 looks better than Kingdom Hearts 3.
I never said that. I never said that at all.
Implying.
I never implied anything. You're the only one who brought up Fallout.
King, have we heard him say
Fallout 4 Lord of Receipts. Lord of Receipts. Lord Saw. No. Lord Saw. Who brought up Fallout first here?
Okay, no. I'll say Addict then. I don't care admitting that. King, how many times has he said Fallout 4 beats every expectation he had? Would that not include graphics?
Well, yeah, that's his baby though. That's his. I love a Halo 5, and anything that anybody says negative about the game, they can eat butt crack for all I care. But I love that game with all my heart. So
I will say Fallout 4 did meet all my expectations, but they also didn't bait me for 5 years with the trailer.
Oh my God! Now we're gonna go this. I gave you the trailer. In 4 months.
Yo, y'all really, I knew this was going to fall into a fallout. I knew it. When I knew Anchor was going to be the lead man in charge, the boss of bosses, I understood what was going on.
What was my intro supposed to be? I'm curious.
I gave you my intro.
You didn't hear it. It was
missed
good.
It was nice. It was a good one, too.
Well, I wasn't here, so you got to reinforce.
No, actually, he gave it to you when you were here.
I waited for you to get here.
I didn't even hear it.
Well, you get to watch.
Oh, he wants you to do it again.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
He said, "Bend the knee to me. Bend the knee."
All right.
Continue.
All right, King. What's your topic for the week?
Oh my God. So listen, guys, we have a new player in this gaming space of ours. And it's not really a new player. It's actually an old player. And if you have a cell phone, you will know who this player is because 9 times out of 10, you done shopped at his store. This is your good pal, Google. What did you just say? Google. Yes, I just said Google. Remember, Google is probably one of the largest companies in the world when it comes to your mobile space, right? And being they facilitate you purchasing games through the Google Play Store, they set out, what was that, Lord Sovereign, when they did a couple of towns with fiber wire, right? Google Fiber Wire.
Google Fiber, yeah.
Right, and it was handing it out. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
It went as far as somewhere. I think maybe Minnesota got it. It hasn't come to the East Coast, so
they were giving this fiber wire out. Right, and they wanted to put it in everybody's homes, and everybody got high speed internet through Google. So I know a lot of people are saying, "Wow, I never heard of that." Yeah, but now what Google is doing, because Phil Harrison used to work for Microsoft and he used to work for Sony, right? And he was in key positions during their growth in the gaming space. Now he's at Google in their gaming space, and it's called Yeti, and I forgot the other code name for the system. Now they're going to be making the controller in-house, sort of how Steam controllers were. Those controllers really didn't take off. They reverted right back to a Microsoft controller. But I believe this controller, because they showed the schematic of it, is built more like a Microsoft controller. They understand that that format actually works. And the system is going to be like a Chromecast type of system, because they're going to stream all this stuff. Now, this takes it back to Lord Sovereign's implementation of the cloud all over, all around us, and his expertise in knowing exactly how the cloud will be used there. So this topic is actually a two-way topic with Sovereign and I, because we talked about it. I want Sovereign to explain to you how they're going to use the cloud as far as getting the games to us. Sovereign?
Oh, I think with these guys, the thing with Google that we have to remember is that they've seen the mistakes of past companies trying to jump into this, right? Like we talked about before with OnLive, they made a lot of promises that they didn't have the infrastructure to keep, and they just figured they'd have the time and money to be able to improve the cloud gaming. Same with PlayStation Now. PlayStation Now is just starting to get some PlayStation 4 games onto the service, but it's very difficult to be able to stream those games in a way that's playable and acceptable to core gamers. It's just not something that's there yet, especially when you talk about the online infrastructure of the entire country. Like, not everybody has the bandwidth available for that stuff to work properly as intended. Now, Google's been really quiet over this time. They haven't really done much in that space. And the assumption is that because they've been looking at the mistakes of these other companies and working on something better. And that's really interesting to me. Like I said, like my topic a couple of weeks ago with the Shadow cloud-based service, obviously people haven't stopped working on this stuff. Obviously, like we talked about how it was kind of the butt of a lot of jokes, especially with PlayStation Now. But this stuff, they see value in this. And not necessarily even as the pillar of your gaming implementation, but maybe even it's just a side thing that allows people to have enough of a quality experience where it's viable to sell this stuff as a service. So the cool thing about Google and how they work this is that they have a few different ways they can implement this stuff. First, we don't know what their tech is, because their tech is probably completely different and something they worked on from the ground up. So the fact that they're even considering doing this stuff is exciting for what they have in the pipeline that they haven't showed us, right? But they have some advantages as opposed to other people who have tried to do this in a few key areas. First of all, they have Chromecast. They're going to have a set-top box that's associated with this. I think they just call it Yeti as well. I think the whole project is called Yeti.
Yes, Yeti is the box. The controller is called something else. I think it's called Lugo.
Right. So the thing with that is that they have their plan is to allow you to purchase this if you want, but also to implement it through Chromecast. Plenty of people have Chromecast. So it's something, again, that it's going to be an ease of use type of thing, right? So first thing is that in terms of their OS, it would make sense for them to run Android TV, because they make it your sort of set-top box replacement, right? You don't need a Roku stick after that. You don't need an Apple TV after that. You don't, and again, Chromecast already has all of this stuff in there. So that's something that they can do to sort of kind of push it into homes that already have this stuff in them.
Right.
Another thing is allowing you to sort of download some games, not necessarily all of them. Again, it allow you kind of to walk the line between pure streaming and downloadable stuff, whereas something like Game Pass is only downloads, where not everybody, again, has the bandwidth to be able to do that. So you need, just by giving people more options, and hopefully at a good price point, it's something that's attractive to people, right?
So you believe that it's going to be a hybrid combo type of streaming downloaded system?
Unless they bring something to the table that nobody has seen and just boost bandwidth threefold, I don't think right now it's going to be able to push, modern games through bandwidth. I just don't think so. Again, but that Shadow was very impressive. Based on what Richard Ledbetter said, that stuff is impressive. So if Google's been mum and hasn't said anything, who's to say that whatever they have in the works isn't more impressive? So that's
this is what we bring to the Lords this Sunday and this topic. And how do we feel about Google getting into gaming? Do we feel like it's going to be Apple gaming or Philips gaming, or will they be the next Sony? Because remember, Sony was laughed and scoffed at before they even got their system off the ground. My question to the table is, how do we feel about Google in our space, and do we think that they're going to be viable?
That's a good question, actually, because is Google viable? Yes. By the very nature of Google existing, anything they put themselves behind will be viable. Mm-hmm. They will find a way to market that thing. They will get it into people's homes, whether they like it or not. They will find a way.
Right.
The only thing about it, though, is will the gaming community jump on? At least as far as how we're set up here. Where, will people from Sony or Microsoft, the loyal fans, move over to Google? I have no idea. I really don't.
Let me ask you a question. Wouldn't it be like this great way? Let's say you're walking home, right? And let's say it is like a hybrid thing, like Lord Sovereign is saying. And you're walking home, you have your phone, and you go into Google Play, and you download it there into your phone, and it's already at your house.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. I mean, it's all your Google devices are connected anyway. So I mean, it's all there. The real question is just whether or not the hardcore will adopt it. That is the real thing, because people will clearly jump on board just because it's new or it's Google, but it's whether or not people will actually jump on and say this is a valid replacement to my system. Because the only thing I'm not sure Google will do is actually have be a publisher and publish their own games, as much as it is they're going to be like a competitor to Steam or something like that.
Right. I think it's going to go along the Steam model.
More. Yeah. I think they're going to go for Steam, but they're going to go specifically after the Steam market and say, hey, where Google, your games follow you everywhere. You're already using Google Chrome. It's already there. It just. And I think that's what they'll shoot for.
Do we see this as Steam knowing this and said that's where the entertainment of the Microsoft stuff is coming from? I don't know.
Maybe. I think because that's the only other option. You gotta, if you're gonna go against Google, you gotta have a real good product. You gotta have goodwill, and you gotta have money backing yourself to stay alive. Yeah.
Yep. Money.
That would be interesting, though.
Attic, how do you feel about the topic?
Oh, you talking about this Google thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you play any games on your phone, like Candy Crush or something like that? Or Cookie Jam? Because I play Cookie Jam, baby. I be on that Cookie Jam hard.
No, so let's frame the question this way.
No, hold on.
If they took Kingdom Hearts 3 and said it's exclusive to the new Google console, would you buy it? Would you buy the new Google console for it?
It depends on how much that console is. I mean, let's be
$600.
real. I would.
$600.
$6. Okay.
He said, whoa, 6. I mean, listen, it's a Google Chrome little device. I'm sorry, I'm not paying $600 for a thumbnail. I'm not doing it.
I have to hold my ground here. If Premium Experience King over here won't buy that shit, I'm not.
Yo, listen, I'm not buying $600. I'm not doing it. You will have to show me. It really will have to knock my socks off. I've spent $600 on a lot of consoles in this time, guys. Seriously. And 3DO, I just talked about it the other day, was top of the list. But when they did show me something, they showed me why my $600 was being spent. Okay, if these guys can show me why my $600 is being spent, I'll be the first one online with Google. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Good question.
They need a Halo.
They need a Halo.
Something.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, no. Let's be honest here. They're gonna have, regardless. They got money. They do. There's no denying that. But we're in an industry to where people are they willing to invest in the amount it would. It's not like Microsoft. Microsoft needs to catch up or get a little bit more of the install base. These people need to get in the industry. Period, and that's going to cost a lot of money.
Like we talked about Amazon. We talked about Amazon coming in. That was the thing and now it's going to be Google. It looks like it might come before them, which would be
Amazon is in the gaming space right now.
Yeah, they are.
None of you guys
they're not making
got
their own
it.
Games right now. Like they have Lumberyard.
Yeah. They have some weak divisions. I mean, because my kids have the Amazon with the controller and the Amazon Play, and they've watched their movies and they go to the gaming section and they actually play. It's a mild form of streaming. It's a mild form, but it's not as big as Google is making this sound. And when you're in the New York Times and when you're in Business Weekly and information is being let out, because Google doesn't let anything out, when information is being let out, they're letting you know that's quiet before the storm, and the storm is coming. And you start to look at stuff in the wild, and you start to see people positioning their movement. Once Nintendo said they're going into a streaming type of service type of thing, a games for service type of thing, you got to understand, they know, business guys know where the market is going, and they pretty much lead by what's out there. And we've noticed that Game Pass has been successful. PlayStation Now has been successful to some extent, and other gaming services as far as Steam has been highly successful on the PC front. You understand? So why not let another big company get their hands in this pot and pull back money? And I think Google is going to dig their hands in this pot. I just don't know what form.
It has to be something that's vastly different to what's out there. Again, I don't care the quality of that third console. I don't think the market can support another regular console in homes. It just wouldn't. Like, if Nintendo had come out with the Switch in a normal console form in the house, I don't think it'd be nearly as successful. So I think it has to come from a different angle, completely different angle. And again, with all this investment in cloud gaming stuff, they have to have something that's vastly superior to what was out before to even consider doing this sort of stuff. So it's gonna be if this is real.
They don't need something superior. They just need to come out there with a console and open the piggy bank deep enough to get all kinds of third-party shit exclusive.
I mean that the money matters at that point.
At this point, I'm pretty sure that they know they're gonna have to put some real money. What do you guys think it would require for them to come in? Let's pick 3 third-party titles that's reasonable that they would purchase for exclusivity for like the whole game, not just timed. What would it
Street
be?
Fighter. You already know Capcom is loose with the legs. So you already know Street Fighter is going to be over there.
That's tough one.
But
who would they buy? I think they'd straight out buy Nintendo. The whole thing.
Let's be real here. If Microsoft couldn't get them to do that deal, there is no way in hell that Google.
But Microsoft likely had a budget though. Like we'll do
I highly doubt Google's
going
to let them break the bank just to get something.
It's
like they're not buying
$100 billion.
They're not buying Nintendo. They buy Nintendo, I will eat my hat. And I'm not hungry, so do not buy them, okay?
No. I need you on that camera. Openly said you will eat your hat if they buy Nintendo.
Okay, hold on. Wait a second. So what's the time frame that I get for this announcement
It's something this drastic, okay? It's if they ever buy Nintendo. If Google ever buys Nintendo.
No, we can't have an open-ended thing like that. Listen, our subscribers can grow old, have kids, die.
2003
years.
No, I give them 16 months.
16. Look at this.
Months.
This dude's
we'll say 2020 seems fair. That's 2 years. That's 2 years.
All right, 2 years. All right, so 2 years. If they don't buy them, y'all eat your hats, and if they do buy them, I eat my hat.
I don't have any hats, so
I will buy you a hat for you to eat, and I will buy you a top hat.
Nah, we're gonna have to take a step back from this bet.
So, do you guys think that actually, you think whatever they're building is a high end console? You guys think that?
No,
I don't think
no.
that.
I don't think so.
It'll be like an Ouya. It'll be like an Ouya, but a more beefy Ouya.
I don't even think it's supposed to be competing with the PlayStation and Xbox, to be honest with you. But if it is,
I don't think so either.
I think the people they need to be hitting up is they need to hit Ubisoft up.
Oh, Ubisoft's on everything. Ubisoft was on.
Oh yeah, Ubisoft.
Ubisoft
will do anything. But I'm not sure about exclusive.
Games. If they got a couple good Ubisoft games in their back pocket, I think it'd be enough to jump. But they're gonna have to come out with first party as well. They're gonna have to come out with some first party stuff.
Oh no, not even first party. I don't think they have to do that at all. It's just all they have to do is just have something that is exclusive.
If I were them, I would try to get a big first party, third party title exclusive. Nothing like really, really big. Obviously, something that has what's the word I'm looking for? That has a little bit of pull. And then I would start buying up, no, I mean, that's too much. They never do that. And then I would start buying out like these games that had a following, but they dropped off, like Army of Two, Mercenaries.
No, it has to be. It can't be something obscure. It has to be
a big comeback.
Yeah, it has to be a really recognizable.
If it's a brand new title, I don't think Google is going to spend that kind of money to get really good stuff. Like, I just don't.
Tommy said we're in the grass, my dude.
You gotta keep in mind that if they do, go into that direction, they're gonna have to spend the money on the. They got to spend the money on the research and development for making the actual console.
Well, they did that already. I mean, that stuff is pretty much done. We're just getting a small leak of it out. So what their controller scheme is pretty much done. Their system format is pretty much done. Listen, they already made Chromecast.
That's one of the reasons I don't touch PlayStation.
Exactly. I feel you. And I feel the same way. I just ordered a new PlayStation controller. It's built and modeled after.
Blue with Scalebound. That would.
Oh my god! No, buy Platinum.
Whoa!
Hold on. Like if they were trying to be smart and they wanted to actually break into the gaming market, but do so at a budget, like buy Platinum, buy Focus Home Interactive.
I won't buy none of this shit. I don't like Platinum.
Those are cheap studios or cheap publishers where that could work.
Platinum is like
they have
unique
games
of like dressing up like complete dog garbage and like making it look like an A-rated game.
Yeah, they listen. They're gonna have to do something to even make me purchase because they can't do it on hardware.
They definitely cannot purchase Platinum. If they purchase Platinum, I'm gonna laugh all the way to not buying their shit and buying a. I would rather go buy another Wii U before I buy anything that they would make if they bought Platinum as a first party studio.
So are we wrapping up on this topic, guys?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we're wrapping up.
All right.
So, last topic for the evening. One
morning.
I found in the morning. But whatever. It's evening for Cognito, who's not here. Jumping out on his own pod. So, Monster Hunter World came out about.
I'm a beast. I gotta
about 2 weeks ago.
That I'm a beast.
So, Monster Hunter World came out, and it has been.
This dude did not just ignore
success. Like always, I always ignore you, dude. So Monster Hunter World came out, and we are sitting here at 6 million copies sold after 2 weeks, and there's been a lot of discussion going on around the board here about Monster Hunter, and we'll use some anecdotal evidence real quick to kind of give you an idea. I'm sitting here on the Xbox taking a look.
Look at Anchorman.
So,
you can't
going to tell us that he's going to regurgitate
grin on his face right now.
Listen, he's going to regurgitate their number 5 on the top play list. He's going to regurgitate this crap right now about this game.
We're looking right now at the top paid list, not played.
Look,
paid. People who have bought this game. Top people who have bought
Talk about the top people that got their money back from Microsoft.
Monster Hunter is number 1 on the list here, above PUBG, above Madden, above EA Sports, above everything else.
Right.
It is on top of the list.
All right.
Now, also on the most played list, let's take a look here.
He's going to regurgitate these lists.
During an event. No, this is during a Destiny 2
you're all
event,
list,
mind
though,
you.
remember?
Oh, God. Hey, I really, listen, I can't tell you guys how much sheepism is going on with this crappy game.
No.
I'm telling you, it's washed out. You can't join your friend. Addict, and I know you love the game. I want you to be honest. How long did it take for me to join your game? Me and you together.
I don't even think we played a game together, King.
Yes, we did. Remember? I was in your lobby. Don't lie. Tell the truth now.
Did you just join my session or we actually played a game?
No, we joined the session. You took me to an arena.
Oh, yeah, it did. It did take a minute. No, there ain't no denying that. The way that they decided to make this like interactive co-op shit is whack, and they need to be took out in the back.
Thank you.
And,
All right.
Lectured over that. Okay.
All right. So that's my whole stance. I'm not even going to get into any of the technical crap with this game. I'm not going to do it.
Things that they promoted the game with.
Right. They told you play with your friends. Everybody can get into this world. Wait, because I listened to you all last night talk about and blow about their game.
I never presented.
Everybody.
Hold on. Let me talk real quick. I want to go ahead and go on record and state that Anchorman talked all that stuff on the Inner Circle yesterday, and did not once say that he ain't killing these bosses. That me and Gamble are carrying him through this stuff. Okay.
And what I'm getting to right now,
I was going to let you breathe until you didn't give me my recognition at the start of this podcast.
Yeah, because he's looking for his recognition. He wants all that recognition.
I gave that to you. You showed up late. Whose fault is that?
You weren't going to say nothing.
I did say something. I will find it. I will show you the timestamp.
And I was like, "You are banned. Go out there and sit outside while we kill Rathalos."
He did give you your intro. I'm not. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
I will timestamp that for you. After this is done, I will timestamp it for you.
He's not the greatest at intros, and we all mix cognito. Sorely miss. See you next week. I hope everything is well with the family.
Cognito needs to give us like the guest intros one by one because we ain't really got that love.
Yeah, right.
Right, but the topic at hand, though, Destiny 2, which is having an event right now, so the player base should be up, is now sitting at number 14 on the most played list. You know what is right behind it? You know what is right behind it? Fallout 4 is right behind Destiny 2.
What does that mean? That is worse than Destiny 2?
But it's also a game that is 2 years its elder is sitting right on its door.
What does Fallout have to do with this conversation?
Is beating Fallout 4. So there you go.
Yeah, like what is
the big thing about this though?
To Anchor's argument,
Black Ops 3 is above Destiny 2, Rocket League, Overwatch, Madden, Ark.
All right, one thing we won't do
on the most played list.
One thing we won't do in this podcast is take a gun to my Destiny. All right, we're not gonna do that. That's not gonna happen here. It's Iron Lord's podcast, and it's all about Iron Lords, and it's all about this Destiny. Now, maybe we have a couple of missteps. Maybe the game is not being played. And I'm guilty of that right now because I've been on this PUBG very heavy. All right, but we're not going to sit here and blow-bait this broken game that you can't join your friends and everybody's sitting here blowing bubbles up people's butts talking about how fantastic it is. And you're sitting there holding in your breath off of what's wrong with the game. It's very nice that you can take down a monster and get a nice suit. You look good in your suit, but I can't see it because I can't join you. I got to watch your stream. So I'm sick and tired of everybody talking about that stupid game. Let's move on to something that's fantastic. You don't like it.
It's cool that you don't like it, but there's just one thing that we got to make very apparent right now. Is Anchorman being carried by Addict every day.
Oh, yeah. Listen, he's being carried by you. That's fantastic. I don't know how the hell he got in your game to be carried by you. He probably was inside your lobby and couldn't see through the wall. I understand.
It's not that hard.
Yo, listen, we spent a good 20 minutes. Remember it kept saying, I can't join while a cinematic is in the order. What type of crap is this? Thank you, Microsoft, for giving me my money because this is 2018, and I'm not settling for this 2001 crap. It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm not grateful that you brought the game over.
Just like those Kingdom Hearts 3 graphics.
That's
that 2001 graphic.
We're not going to... Addict, don't take the bait. Just don't carry his behind when you do it. Just make sure when the list goes out for the friends that's trying to join and they can't find lobbies, don't put them on your list. That's it.
I'm gonna have to inform all of my Monster Hunter brethren, the other people that would carry you, that you're banned from being carried from anything.
Man, you wouldn't even have met those people if it wasn't for me.
It doesn't matter. I met them. I mean, you can't take backseas when it comes to meet people like 2 years ago. That don't make sense. I'm gonna have to
listen. Let me tell you.
Is there an actual
Lord Talbot? Lord Talbot.
There is a topic. I know. There is a topic. I can get to it.
Wait, he knows the topic. He's not late.
That's right. Listen, Lord Samuel Talbot. We got to give respect for the Lord that's inside the chat. I love your exposés. I love the stuff that you write. It's fantastic. And remember, you acknowledge that this is your first Monster Hunter game. You have not put up with this crap that I have put up with, sir. I have put up with this crap off of multiple systems, sir. And I was looking for this game to be the savior that they claimed it to be, and it is not that.
I mean,
this is not the savior, so I had to kill it. I had to put it down. I had to get rid of it. It is gone. It is erased. I can't access it.
Are you turning Jamaican over there on me?
I am West Indian, though, right? You know that, right? I'm West Indian, so that's kind of racist, Addict. That's Addict. That's racist. That's racist. Don't let me get a Me Too movement, Addict.
The actual topic at hand. The actual topic at hand is whether or not Destiny 2 can make a comeback after Monster Hunter is pulling away a lot of these people who have been wanting this kind of grind, this kind of work that Destiny 2 was not able to provide.
All they need is a great DLC.
How much
can they learn from Monster Hunter World?
Look, I might not be on.
They can learn how to join their friends. I can join you.
But I guarantee you, this time next year, there's going to be way more people playing Destiny than Monster Hunter.
He's reaching here, man. You're not gonna sit here and poke knives in my game. It's not gonna happen. And all they need is they're one good DLC away from knocking you back into the box. You didn't tell me how many games that Destiny 2 sold. You just told me that this game, this new kid on the block that showed up, that everybody, I'm so happy that it's on Microsoft this year. I'm going to purchase it. I'm going to take it. I don't care. You can take it. Go ahead. I don't care. You don't even get Ryu. You don't even get half of the stuff that they got on PlayStation. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to take that game. Get it out of here. Right out the door.
Dude, the only way I think Destiny 2 can make a comeback is if their big Taken King kind of DLC was totally free.
No, shut up.
if they came out and did that, and they said, "Oh yeah, we got the Return of the Taken King free this year," like that would get people back.
Listen, that would be nice. You would want it to be free, but you're gonna pay for this. You want to get the game, you got to pay for it. No, I mean, listen, this is true. And it doesn't appeal to you. But it appealed to, I don't know how many people purchased this game, and I'm pretty sure that you could pull the numbers up like you be pulling numbers out of the sky. You got those 6 million out the sky, right? Why don't you get total lifetime numbers of Destiny 2, pull that out of the sky, and let me know what, I'm pretty sure it ain't half of it. Is it?
Do we? I don't know. Do we have lifetime numbers? I don't know. Do we?
Do we have a peak 3 million players at one time?
Let's take.
Tell me, do we have a peak 3 million players playing this game at one time? I haven't seen those numbers put out there.
Are they playing now? Because they're not on the top playlist.
It is. It's nice. So is PUBG. Unknown franchise.
Activision apparently didn't share specific numbers. They said it was they had record sales, but didn't specifically say.
You didn't say anything, right?
What the lowest sales we've ever had. That's a record sale.
Yeah, listen, did they have missteps? Right. Yeah, so what, they have missteps. But this game is a colossal misstep. All right, so if they came out date and day, why did they put that game out date and day against Destiny? Why didn't they do that? Let's see, then who would have sold? You tell me to answer that question. Answer that question, Anchor. Who would have sold
Destiny
date and day?
Next to this?
Oh, they launched first. They was ready. What's up? What's up, Capcom? Capcom is the one with the shaky knees. You act like that game wasn't ready. That game is the same game that we played in E3. Broken. So why don't you release that broken crap up against my broken crap, and let's see who broken crap would have knocked who out. I definitely understand Destiny would have knocked them out. With the ease of play and joining your friend system is so beautiful. And it is. I can go right now and join you right
wait
now.
For it to fly around, do nothing.
Hey, but you know what? I can't even do that inside that game. I can't wait around and do anything. I was so happy that day me and the Addict was getting a chance to play. I really did. I felt real good. I said, maybe this is the chance.
Is it the greatest when it comes to that co-op community? Like, is it co-op friendly? No.
Hell no.
Co-op fun? Yes.
Well, how can we get to the fun, Addict?
I mean, it's
get me to the fun.
People. I understand that, but look, it's like I said, is it co-op accessible to everyone? Is it make sense sometimes? No, because at the beginning I was like, what do I do? But once you figure it out, ask Anchorman. It goes pretty easy. It's really easy when Anchorman can just, how it works is, you go to the board, you post it, and everyone can join in on that quest. So, when Anchorman goes and does his next story, and me and Gamble can just do that whole story for him, or Anchorman does nothing. That's how that works.
The thing about Monster Hunter is what you worry about is the longevity. What's their plan moving forward? Like, Destiny is a living game, right? So obviously they're gonna keep giving you stuff, and hopefully they keep. Yeah, well, but hopefully the plan is that they keep improving upon stuff that's gonna bring back the hardcore. I think
I will say that they are doing stuff to bring back the hardcore. They had me raising my eyebrows with the update they're doing on the raid, but it's not the raid functions and stuff that I have a problem with. I have a problem with the raid itself. So
the location, yes. Now, Addict. Now I don't want anyone in this chat to be confused with what Anchor has just done. Okay, I don't want you to be confused with what he has done. He was
trying to get me and you to go at it because he knew I was a big fan of Monster and you're a big fan of Destiny. That's low-key what he was trying to do.
But he didn't
only the manipulator.
Yeah, but what he didn't understand is me and you already played the game, and you already heard my gripes with said game, and it's well known, it's well documented. But he doesn't also understand that the love that we share, right? And he don't understand that the love we share with Destiny 2 and such great times that we had in that game in the Destiny space. So that can't override that, and that's not going to change. And for some reason, we on a 2018 Love Fest, brother. Nobody's coming and smashing that. I'm sorry. I just bigged up him off his Kingdom Hearts. I see what you were trying to do. Did you see me just show Kingdom Hearts? Did you see me just back my man walking through that door? I'm sorry, Anchor. I'm sorry.
Yeah, good luck.
It's not gonna work.
Me and King are on that. Me and King are on the same. We didn't catch different. What's a good word I'm looking for? We on the same train. We ain't on different trains.
There we go.
This year. King was on the train above me, and me and Cognito was on the same train this year. But now it's King me and King on the same train, and Sovereign and Cognito are on the same train.
Yeah, because Sovereign is on some other crap with that HDR stuff, with this Colossus stuff. I love him. But hey.
I used to imagine Al Green playing in the background.
That's
how I do, baby. So low. So low.
But I want y'all to understand, man. Listen, you, and I'm talking about that game, is one taking King away from being irrelevant. And that's just the facts. That's the scary part about it, because it's already digitally downloaded into everybody's system. And those people that actually went out and purchased a disc, they probably purchased the DLC.
I gotta interrupt you. Someone said King near went Bill Cosby right there.
He said, "I see what you're trying to do." See, but you got to understand it, that he fears it, because he got the ballistic beat down with the Fallout. I feel that Fallout is still behind Destiny. he had to point that out on the list. They're still behind a dead game, right? Okay, so your game is deader. All right, if that's a word. All right, so look at this. One DLC is going to come and crush that game. And the ease of use and playing with your friends, when I say I'm in a Nightfall and they say, hold on, I'm coming right now, because we're in a party, we're talking. Now, how do I do it? I can't see it. I don't understand. Is it on the board?
There's no join my game, and then maybe if I haven't played this long enough, you could join.
Exactly. So, understand, the DLC is coming. The fear is in the room. I can smell it. I smell it. You smell it? I smell it. And when it's going down, I'm going to invite you into the game, Anchor, and we're going to play a good game, because you can join me. Why are you quiet, Anchor? Anchor, why are you quiet?
You guys.
That's like he said. All we need is that Volta glass, and let me tell you something. They're right back in the mix, baby. Why? That's it. Right back in. All they gotta do is remix the old stuff.
I don't even know why Anchorman's trying to like put up that Monster Hunter banner. He ain't done nothing in the game.
Shut up, man.
So let me ask an actual question here. So do you guys think that Monster Hunter, with all the success that it's had in the West this time out, because to be honest, it hasn't had the success in the West before this game, do you think they make changes to it to make it even more appealing to Western gamers now that it's seen this success? And do you think they really come for games like Destiny, like in the future? Because to be fair, Monster Hunter isn't that. Monster Hunter isn't Destiny. It's a game unto itself. You'll have some DLC monsters. You'll have this. It's not like what Destiny is at all. But when you see those player bases moving over, like, you know, a lot of them moved to PUBG. A lot of them moved to Monster Hunter because of the grind. They like that grind. They like the minutia of that grind. Do you see them changing what Monster Hunter is? Monster Hunter's been the same for a long time. To change that formula up, that'd be an interesting thing to see what they do with this game and to try to make it even more popular. They might mess it up in the process.
I just want to
point out Chief, in the chat real quick. So now we go from it looks bad to now you trying to justify it because it's sold a lot. Okay, continue.
No, what I'm getting at is if they're going to change anything in Monster Hunter, I think they'll start changing some of the aesthetics. You know, bothering to actually like lip sync with the English language, which would be nice. I think other than that, I think the core gameplay is fine. I think it's totally fine the way it is. I think it's not too hard to jump into, but I think it's the aesthetic. The aesthetic changes to it will be made for the Western audience going forward. I think it's kind of like how Resident Evil changed it up significantly with Resident Evil 7, and
they needed to though. They needed to with Resident Evil 7, which is a great horror game within itself. I thought it was. I think that the people ran away from Resident Evil so much that they wasn't willing to give 7 a try. To be honest with you, I think they broke that that franchise.
And seven, apart from the first person perspective, when you really get in there, it's a Res Evil game. It isn't much different from other Res Evil games in terms of systems and whatnot. It's just in first person. The flow of the game is different, but it's definitely a Res Evil game. So I mean, to me, with Monster Hunter, it's gonna be. I don't know that they'll be willing. It's been so successful for so long that I don't know that they're gonna continue to. They would. Maybe some more like quality of life improvements.
Listen, Sovereign, they're printing money with this thing. You know it. They're printing money with it on the DS. They print the money with it on the Switch. They print the money with it on the PlayStation, on the Xbox now. We got the game here, and they know that, okay, finally, there's an audience over here that wants this. Because, you actually saw this game over there, and maybe you didn't want to buy a 3DS and sit there in the train station playing it, or on the bus or whatever. Okay, that's fine. You got it on your big console, and it's nice. I'm not taking anything away from that aspect of it. If you're a new player, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of new players, I'm pretty sure at least 2 to 3 million of the players purchasing this game are new players. So you don't know what somebody like myself has been through with this game and won't tolerate, right? Because I went into the game looking for something very specific, and they missed the mark on that thing, and that just agitated the whole thing. All right, it was like a hair bump on your face. If you don't pull it out, you're gonna get a nasty bump, right? So it was a nasty bump, and I just had to go get it removed. It was disgusting. Do I think they fix certain things for us? Yes, but fundamentally, on a user interface, it's broken. Okay, they can send as many patches as they want to the game. The dynamic in how you join, and it's fundamental to the game structure, it's broken.
So question, I thought they fixed that though. They patched that. Didn't they patch that? They were talking about that.
No, they just patched that you were able to find lobbies to play with people. That's not my problem.
He doesn't like having the whole session and mission system. That's what he doesn't like.
Right. You understand. See, the problem with Anchor right now is he understands my gripe. Anchor, this is your first Monster Hunter game, yes?
Technically second. I played the one that came out on the Wii. I think it was 3.
First. Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't play that seriously.
You didn't really play it seriously, right? So technically, this is your first one that you delve in, that you made armor, and you're having a good time in, right?
That's correct.
Hello?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so now, in saying this, what's the majority of your time, using it 100% as your barometer, what's the majority of your time that you spend alone in that game playing it?
For me, maybe 60%.
Right, so more than half.
I play with people more often.
Yeah, so more than half
just
you
over
play
half.
by yourself. Right, now Destiny within itself is made up in the manner that you play 80% with people and 20% by yourself.
See, mine was a little bit different on Monster Hunter. I'd probably put in 80% with other people and 20 by myself.
Right.
Yeah, for me though, like I'm grinding the same missions over and over and over again for materials. So that's what I've been doing. So.
But weren't you complaining about that in Destiny?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only thing is, at least these materials are something I can actually control, and it's not a complete RNG system.
Right.
To get exactly what I want.
If you kill, right, he knows if he kills certain amount of monsters, he's going to get certain amount of materials to do exactly what he wanted. That bow that you wanted to get, that cow. I can't live without this gun.
What do you mean if he kills a certain amount of monsters, if he lets Rim kill a certain amount of monsters? Okay.
All right. So now that we got that out the way and we understand that the game is a nice phenomena, it's not really a phenomena. It's just these guys are thirsty they put it out in a month where nothing was happening. Put it up head to head against something, and let's see what really is on the table. If your balls is really on the table. I don't think so. I don't think the testicles of this game is big enough to go against the weakest of our franchises. I don't think it'll come out on the day of 2K. I know it won't come out on the day of Madden. Don't even talk about Red Dead. It just came out on a down month. Now all we are is one good game to come out and push that right to the side. Simple. topic?
All right, so all right. I think that rounds out our topics, but
yeah, to be completely fair, I do think that was the topic. Yeah. Anchorman expected that to go completely different than it did.
He's a savage.
Again, my original question was: is there anything Destiny 2 can learn from Monster Hunter World? But
no, I can't learn anything from a one-hit wonder.
Nothing that they didn't know already. They already know that people want the grind back. People want to feel like what they're doing is special, and you know.
The question is there anything Monster Hunter can learn from Destiny?
Exactly.
Yeah.
How to jump in and play with somebody. They can learn that. Sir. Let's get out. Outros. Sir.
All right, we'll go through. Let's go through some of our outros real quick, and then we'll pose the final poll question. King, time to do your outro.
Huh? What are you talking about? you listen to us. You know how it goes. You're the boss. You say, "Hey, King, let them know where they can find you." And I go last again. Why you keep putting me first? Hey, listen, guys. Check it out. I got 4 large T-shirts left. Get at me. Hit me in the DMs on Twitter. I know if you're a fan of the podcast, you know our Twitter. And you should be following us on Twitter. Like you should be following Addict. You should be following Anchor. You should be following everyone from the Tick Network. So just get at me. Hit me in the DMs. The store should be up. The store will be up by Friday of this week in time for your Black Panther. You can wear the Iron Lord. Man, I'll see if I can overnight ship it to you so you can get into that movie theater and you're looking all that types of good with the Lord on your chest. That'll be fantastic for you. So hit me up, guys. And next guy. See, I'm not used to this.
All right, Adam.
Thanks for everyone coming out. Definitely follow me on Twitter. And, you know, it was a pleasure being on this again. Every week goes by, and, you know, I just wanted the last thing you guys hear is from me is I carried Anchorman through Monster Hunter. Okay, continue.
We'll all remember that. Yeah. Yeah, man. Guys, you can find me on PSN and Xbox Live at BX Sovereign and on Twitter, Lord Sav ILP. Shout out to Cognito and the family. Condolences to the family. I hope you guys are well. And we look forward to having you back next week. Shout out to Anchor for coming in and babysitting us while Cognito's away. I guess Cognito was the
he's the worst babysitter ever. Yeah, he's the worst babysitter ever. He was having us pit fight. This is disgusting.
This is what he does when he stays over. He
makes the kids fight. Oh no!
Just for his entertainment.
So I'm Anchorman V2. You guys find me over here on the Inner Circle Network as usual, doing my usual thing. Tick podcast on Saturdays at 10 o'clock. Multiverse at 8 on Mondays. And on the occasional Ironlets on occasion. So, but yes, for the final poll question for next week.
Carried out Monster Hunter the other times.
All right, so the poll question for next week, which we'll get that on the Twitter account officially. Do you think the Monster Hunter franchise will keep the Western audience going forward? With your options are going to be yes, West is best. No, East is beast. And lastly, who cares? I just want Fallout 5.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is terrible. That's the worst. You know what? I should have known it was a terrible poll when I didn't see it posted in the chat. Oh, my God. Take us out of here.
All right, guys. This has been episode 50 of the Iron Lords podcast, and we will see you guys next week.
PUBG, guys. PUBG. We on. I'm jumping on right now.
All right. And we're out.